kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour, gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Good Thursday afternoon, evening to everyone out there in YouTube land, Facebook land, and anywhere else you may be. Seems like a Monday evening to me because we've been off work. Today was my first day back from the big snowmageddon and ice storm that we've had here through the South. I've seen now where over 100 people have died from this storm, all the way from Texas to Maine. So crazy times we live in. I mean, so much for global warming. Speaking of somebody that knows a little bit about ice, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump and that whole political crap. I'm talking about Mr. Roger. Roger Randall's been out digging in the ice today, or digging out, I should say.
Oh yeah, I had a pickaxe going, baby. He looked
like Yukon
great.
Cornelius out there. He'd hit with a pickaxe and he'd lick it and go, peppermint.
Ain't nothing in there. It was nothing but ice.
Nothing.
I had a
but
3-foot
ice.
pile of ice that came off the roof of the house, and it
One
did
thing
not
about
want to
it-
come up.
One thing about it, if your refrigerator or freezer ran out of ice, you could go out there and put some in your whiskey if you prefer it that way.
Well, all I know is when I emptied it and threw it across the front yard, it slid all the way down the front yard and into the backyard.
Perfect day.
Yeah.
My gosh, I don't know what I've just done here. My screen went teeny tiny, little bitty.
Oh,
Man, I can't have this through the whole show. I can't even read your name over there.
I can't get big. I know I'm bigger than that.
It's always something on this show, isn't it?
Hey.
Isn't it, Will?
It absolutely is, yes.
Now
always something.
Now I'm full screen on my end, and I can't see any of the controls. Oh, I got it all fixed now.
Oh, well, I'm glad.
Well, how much ice did you have there in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas?
I mean, you know, it started out with not a whole lot of ice, but then there was a lot of sleet and a little bit of snow, and now it's all ice. I don't know how that happened. But
Well, it freezes and refreezes. I think that's one way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be real careful,
I
guys.
think at the height
I've-
we had like 5 or 6 inches. So
I failed to do something tonight.
oh.
I want to put this out just for the guests. We have 22 watching right now. What do you want our word of the night to be? When you hear that word, you have to drink. Put that in your comments, and I'll make a little banner up. So whichever one gets the most score, whatever words you want to hear that we'll drink with, we'll go from there. So put that in your comments. And when we wrap this segment up, whatever it is, we're going to go with it. Somebody wants a wild turkey. Hey, ice. Show me the proof. Says ice. Glenn says Tracy Yorkie. Come on, guys. Y'all can do this. So, yeah, we've had a lot of ice, a lot of snow. Now we're going to go back into, colder temperatures tonight. It's going to get down well below freezing. So, ice, Will, Roger, Bourbon, Wood, huh? Tom Black's wanting to hit them all. Look here.
Yeah. He's
Tom
won
Black
3
I don't
words.
know that we can handle that.
Tom Black doesn't need a reason to
Well, he's celebrating. He's going to be coming to the great state of Arkansas.
he is. What for?
Well, because he's going to take a job here in the state of Arkansas.
I did not hear that. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm making up things. I'm preemptively saying he's going to get the interview and going to get the job. So he was looking at a job at the University of Arkansas.
Hold on, boys. I'm just typing.
Tom's like, I am.
All right, I've got one. I've got a word. I've got a word.
You got a word. He's got a word here.
A word. Okay, guys, ready? I'm going to show us. Celebrate. When you hear that word, you drink. Okay.
Okay.
And let's just expand on that. It doesn't have to be just celebrate. It could be celebration or
Any
not
variation
celibate.
thereof.
Yeah, not celibate, but celebrate.
No, not
All right.
celibate.
So I've already said it 2 times now. So I hope everybody's had a drink at least twice. All right. Let's get the show started. First of all, I want to move us over to the stage like that. I am glad to see it worked. And boys, we have something to celebrate about, right?
Uh-oh.
Definitely.
There's that word.
Did you like that? Does anybody know what it is to celebrate?
I don't know.
We
500 subscribers.
surpassed 500 subscribers. Now, Roger, tell us what that does for us, having over 500 subscribers.
It allows us to have fireworks.
Woohoo!
Oh,
I love
okay.
fireworks.
I love fireworks.
We get free
500
bourbon.
That would be nice if we got free bourbon, but I don't think that's how
You know what?
YouTube works.
No, hold on. I think it does work like that. Because if you go to the comments section, the banner section right now, guys, look here. If you hit hashtag 500, you are going to get a free bottle. So that is free that we're giving away. Free.
So that's the Old
Everybody.
Glory, the Volunteer Tennessee Weeded Whiskey.
Now, here's the deal, folks. You will not be getting this bottle anytime soon. It will be at least a month before this bottle is ready to go, but you will be one of the first, and it's free. Maybe we should have made the word of the night free, but anyway. So, yeah, we made 500. It took a while, but we did it without having to buy any subs from India or anywhere, so.
North Korea or wherever they get them from.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that,
Yeah, that's something to celebrate, not having to buy subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. We have to buy bottles and give bottles away, but not subscribers. Well, anywho, yeah, I'm real proud of that. So now the door will be open. We'll get in some better algorithms. We'll start getting more people, and Hey, once our watch hours gets up, now that we have 500 subscribers, then it'll be monetization. So we won't be able to say curse words and anything like that, or we'll get demonetized.
Well, that just takes all the fun out of everything.
Yeah,
What is
but
that?
that's
50 cents? Is it 50 cents a show? Is that what we get?
I don't even know. Don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for the monetization. I just wanted to give away a bottle tonight, so
I agree.
We made that vow long ago that if and when we got to 500, we were going to give away a bottle, and that is something to celebrate about, folks.
That's right.
You're welcome. Hey, we've got a good show tonight, and I want you guys to stick around even when the guests. We've got a really cool guy that's a guest who does some amazing things with woodworking, and he also.
Oh, wait a minute! Wait a minute! I'm sorry, Craig. We're getting called out on our bourbon looking like water. I'm drinking 1783 Heroes Edition, so.
I don't know who's calling it, Daniel. I don't know. I've never drank the water there out of his tap over in Memphis area, but if it looks like that, hell, come on, guys.
Daniel, does yours have this 10-year bourbon label on it from 2024? That's what mine is right now.
Daniel, does your water come in this kind of bottle? Come on, dude. Celebrate with us. Daniel, celebrate with us.
I did pick this to start with because it is 90 proof and it's.
I'm sorry. Oh, I have to say something. Oh. It wasn't Daniel. It was Daniel Larner, not the Daniel that we were giving hell. We have to give hell to the other Daniel. Daniel, I don't know where your water comes from, but ours comes from a bottle.
Okay, there's Daniel Beasley. What did I get blamed for?
Hey, it's all good. Hey, we'll get to the darker stuff later. We'll get some of this stuff out later.
There you go.
Ooh.
All right, everybody, let's take a deep breath and let's get through this. We're gonna get ready to bring on Chris. He's the guest of the night, Chris Gunn, with Barrel Creations. But stick around. We've got some news after that, and we've got some fun and games too. So we're gonna make an hour of it.
Yep.
Poor Daniel. Look at here. He says, "I'm always being picked on." All right, folks. Let's bring in Chris real quick. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. Can y'all hear me?
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Well, I'm glad that y'all can hear me now because we went through this for quite a while where I couldn't get the audio to work.
Once again, that is a common thing that's a theme of our show. It seems like usually it's our end that the audio doesn't work, but audio is working fine on your end. That's something to celebrate for. So cheers again. What are you drinking tonight, Chris?
So I'm drinking. This is Warrior Spirits. There's an individual in over here where I live. His name is Ramon Alvarez and his wife Ruth. They run a charity organization called Warrior Barrel Spirits, and every time they sell like a barrel, or they take a certain amount of the money and they put back into a veteran charity. And so this was his blend. I believe it's. I think it's Booker's. I think he blended a bunch of Booker's to make this. So, but anyway, this is his bottle.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I see behind you that you might like some other bourbons as well. So you might be part of our group.
Yeah, I have been. Been accused of liking bourbon every once in a while.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you drink so much bourbon and you have to be so deeply involved in bourbon that what did you do? Wake up one day and say, you know what? I think I'm going to start turning bourbon barrels into furniture. Is that how it started with you, or how did you get into the woodworking end of it?
So I was in the Army for 31 years, And then I retired about 2 years ago. And when I retired, I had a friend of mine. She told me, said, you've lived in chaos for about 30 years. You're going to have to learn how to live in stillness now. And you got to find something that gives you a purpose. And so a real good friend of mine, he had given me a barrel as a retirement gift, and he had actually gave it to my wife, and she took it to a man to get a door cut in it. Now, he didn't necessarily do it wrong, but he didn't necessarily get it right. And so I kind of piddled with the barrel for a while, and I kept telling my wife, I said, I think I could have done a better job. And she, after about 2 weeks of me saying that, she got tired of hearing it. She told me, well, if you can do it, then by all means, let's see you do it. And so that was kind of the impetus of me getting started with this business, and from there, it's pretty much took off.
Yeah,
Now-
nothing like a wife telling you can't do something to make you want to do it. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I have a follow-up to that question. So we're already off the rails on our questions, but so did you have an experience with woodworking as a hobby prior to this, or was this just, you just jumped in it balls and all, huh?
No, absolutely. I'd never, I mean, my dad, I grew up, grew up around a farm growing up, being down on the farm with my dad, just helping him drive nails and putting siding on a barn or something is about the extent of what I did with woodworking. But, I mean, I'm a firm believer of YouTube. You can almost learn anything on YouTube these days. And so when I decided I wanted to do the first barrel, I watched enough people on YouTube that did it. And then I kind of got the gist of what they were doing. And then, I really started off with, I had a drill, and I had a Sawzall, and that's really all I had in the garage. And the first barrel I used, that's the only two tools I used to do it. And then after that, I'd build a barrel, I'd take a little bit of the money, I'd go buy another tool I needed. And so I've been doing it for about 2 years now. I enjoy doing it. It's given me a sense of, I think the thing I lacked from once I left the Army, it was I really searched for a sense of purpose, something that would give me some joy. And the barrel building has definitely done that. And honestly, if nothing else, it's gave me enough money to buy good bourbon. And I've taken up playing guitar since I retired, so it's helped me to buy a guitar. So that's a good thing.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. We've got a few Army vets in here and Navy vets and everything else in this group, so they can understand that, trying to find something to take the place of all the craziness.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned a little bit about what your first project was, or you went and helped, you fixed up the barrel that he sent you, or he did for you, or was there another project that you consider to be your first project?
Probably my very first project. So Fort Benning Class 6 manager Tim Hall, he does a phenomenal job of taking care of the people on Fort Benning that are into the bourbon kind of the bourbon thing. And so we've done some pretty good barrel picks out there. One of the first barrel picks we ever did was Blue Note, and we actually, one of the barrels we got, and I've never been able to confirm this, but I was told the barrel was one of the tornado survivors. That supposedly the rick house had got hit by a tornado and it collapsed to a certain point. I do know the barrel looks like it got hit with something, because there's wood almost all the way through the side of the barrel that almost, if it had went probably an eighth of an inch farther, it would have pierced the barrel and dumped every bit of the bourbon that was in the barrel. But that was my first one. So Blue Note barrel is my first one, and then my second one, I got to do this because I know who gave y'all that. I know who said the word of the night should be wild turkey. It's my buddy Dan Arner. They got a running joke that how many times I say wild turkey tonight, they're going to have to take a drink. So my second barrel was a wild turkey barrel, and so that's kind of my first two projects, and it's really skyrocketed from there.
Nice.
I got something for you, Chris. Let me put this up here for you. When Chris says wild turkey, everybody has a drink as well.
There we go.
There we go.
That's Dan. That's
If
my
you're
buddy
not good
Dan.
if you're not good in souse by the end of the night, that's your own damn fault.
Yeah, they told me at work that if you need to come in late tomorrow, just let us know.
There you go.
Okay. Well, that's good. They're supporting you. That's great.
Yeah, I got
So,
a question from
go
one of
ahead,
our
Roger.
veterans. Yeah, you got a question from one of our veterans, and they said you'll know what you're talking about because you're in the Army. Are you a leg?
So no, I spent quite a bit of my time at Fort Benning, Georgia. By trade I was an infantry soldier, so that's what I did. But he's talking about did I go to airborne school or not? Yes, I did go to
Yeah.
airborne school.
Okay, that's what he asked, and so I was like, I figured you would know.
Now my wife does not like that because about 3 months before I retired, I decided to do my last airborne jump, and I hit the ground so hard I got a real bad concussion. And she put her foot down after that and said, "That's it. Your days of jumping out of planes are over with. You're way too close to retiring for you to get hurt."
I hear you.
So leading into our next question there, you already talked about a blue note barrel. You talked about a wild turkey barrel. So do you typically get barrels from a particular distillery, or, does that source change, and does it change how you approach your build?
So I get the majority of all my barrels from 13th Colony. Where I'm located right now, I'm just across the border in Alabama. I'm just like, if you can kind of envision Columbus, Georgia, I live right across the river in Phoenix City, Alabama. And so the majority of my barrels I source from 13th Colony. It takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to get down there. I've got a real good friend of mine, Sean Ruckman. He has a YouTube channel called Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. And the running joke with me and Sean is, who's the bigger fanboy of 13th Colony? Now, granted, I absolutely love their distillate. And, every chance I get to go down there and get a bottle, I'll go out of my way to get it. But I also tell people I want them to be successful, because as long as they're successful, they'll continue to make good bourbon, and they'll have empty barrels that I can go down there and pick up and bring home and build something out of. But that's where I get the majority of my barrels from. And then there's a couple other places I can get them from.
Speaking of Echoes in Eternity, he wanted us to ask you about a short barrel distillery story. So would you like to enlighten us on this?
Yes. I was laughing as soon as I seen that quote on the screen. So Sean and a friend of his that has a channel, Whiskey Wisdom, they did a bee's knees barrel pick one time. And Sean asked me to go along with him. He says, "Hey, do you want to come to Short Barrel and help us do this barrel pick?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, I want to come," because I'd always wanted to go to Short Barrel anyway. So we get up there, and yeah, at some point I don't recollect much more. They loaded us up. I mean,
were they talking about wild turkey all night or what?
No. No, but they gave us, I think they started us off at 4th Street Distillery, and then at some point they gave us a barrel stout, finished bourbon, and then we went to drinking the various honey blends they gave us. And at some point I just remember we ended up at Cracker Barrel, and I was like, "Sean, there's no way I'm going in Cracker Barrel right now." And so yeah, it was a little embarrassing for me when we got back home, and I told my wife, I said, "I just can't really talk right now. Just let me go lay down, and when I wake up, I'll kind of explain what happened with me and Sean today."
That's a new one on me, though, is going to the Cracker Barrel, because usually it's the Waffle House for me.
Waffle House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
you walk in
guys.
there like that, everybody's gonna know you. It's like, "Oh, hey."
Hey guys, I'm going to take you, Roger, and Will, and myself off of this feed, and I'm going to just highlight Chris here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hey, Craig, it's not working.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's working, buddy.
Well, I wanted to show and ask you about some of your creations, but apparently it's not working. I tested it on myself today. It works with me. See, look, it worked. Oh, see,
Yeah,
it works with
you gotta lean
me.
the other way.
Yeah,
gotta
lean the other way. Lean the other way, Chris. Let's see.
Every time you try this stuff, Craig. Craig, we can't hear you. Craig, we couldn't hear you. This is when Craig gets frustrated.
All right, fine. I tried to do something fancy and then it won't work. I was just going to show some of your creations and highlight you on one side, and but it didn't work. Anyway, let's change gears. Let me come up with a question for you real quick. All right. Can you walk us through the process of a barrel that you are going to make into a cabinet? What kind of, you don't have to get technical, but do you sand it first? Do you put the hinges on it first and then cut the doors out? What's your process of creating a barrel cabinet, if you will?
Yeah, it's not rocket science. I tell people if I can get it done, anybody can. Normally, I kind of start the process by talking to the prospective person who wants it. And a couple of questions I'll start with is, do you want a clean barrel or do you want one with some character? Now, me personally, I want them to have character. And what I mean by character is the dirtier, the older, the more barrel fat they've got that's leaked out of them, the better I believe in my heart that they're going to make a more beautiful cabinet. Now, some people just want a brand new barrel, and I can source those. I can find them because they want them to look clean. But for the most part, if you ask me, I'm going to go with a dirtier, older barrel just for the character purpose. Now, the first thing I'll do is you gotta drill and tap the bands down because that's what's going to give it the rigidity to not fall apart. I'm sure every one of y'all seen a barrel. You probably every one of y'all got barrels.
I've got 5 personally.
I got 7 in the garage right now, and that's about as much as I can get in the garage at any given time.
I don't have one.
So normally I'll drill and tap the bands down first. Now, depending on how dirty the bands are, if they look kind of old or if they're real rusted, I'll take a wire brush and knock the rust off. And then once I get it drilled and tapped, I'll make an assessment then, do I want to go on and stain it or not? Normally I'll stain it at that point because once I cut it open, the most nerve-wracking part for me is cutting the door in it because that's the point of no return. Once you make that cut in that door and that door comes out of that barrel, you have got to have done it right because if you don't, you better start coming up with an alternate plan what you're going to do with that barrel. But I normally use a reciprocating saw because I can get the cleanest cuts with it. I get the door out of it, and then that's the worst part. I call that you got to have a respirator and a wire scrub brush, and you got to get in there and you got to scrub every bit of the char out of it. Now, one of the things I do is I try to keep as much of the char as I can. We did a barrel pick down at 13th Colony one time with Sean, and I got the barrel that day because it was actually Sean's birthday, and I was pretty adamant about I wanted to take it home with me, and I turned it into a cabinet for him for his birthday. But when I cut that thing open, it was so wet I thought I was going to pass out from the fumes. Now, don't get me wrong, it smelled awesome. It just the ethanol was so strong, it was making me lightheaded. But the the cool thing about doing it is like when I scrape the barrel out, I try to keep the char because if you've got a smoker and you take that char and you throw it in the smoker when you're smoking like brisket, I guarantee you it's going to be the most delicious brisket you've ever eaten in your life. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, and the other cool thing is like any bit of the wood that's scrap wood, I throw it in a 5 gallon bucket, and then when people come by the house if they want it, I just whatever take it home with you, and if not, like I said, I throw that in the smoker. Um, but once I get the barrel scraped out, I got to build the shelf in it, which is generally I've got to. That's kind of every barrel is going to be a different size, so you've got to. I've almost got to. I've got to custom make that shelf to fit that individual barrel. And once I get the shelf in it, I build a lazy Susan in the bottom that'll spin. Um, I used to light the barrels up. I'd put LED lighting in them, but I found over time that because the char is just you can scrape the barrel as much as you want. The char is still going to be a little flaky. And
Can I interrupt you?
absolutely.
You're talking about the process of the char. Being that I've made these myself, do you lacquer them or do you put any sort of finish on there to keep that, or do you just leave them natural?
The barrel cabinets I leave natural. Now if
Okay.
I build end tables out of the barrel lids and use like the staves as the legs of the table. When I do that, I do lacquer the wood because and I built my wife I'm trying to think what the name of it is. It's like a bench. I guess it's a love seat for lack of a better word, but it was flipped where the char portion was up, and I do lacquer that. But now the barrel
Okay.
itself, I generally don't lacquer it because for the most part, you're really not going to be running your hands inside the barrel to touch it. But I have had a buddy that I did a barrel for him, and he told me when he got home he bought a can of the spray lacquer, and he did his. But once I get the door in it, or I'm sorry, once I get the shelf in it, and I get the Lazy Susan in it, then I just got to reinforce the door, and then I put the hinges on the door, put the door back on it, and then I usually do 2 to 3 coats of stain on it, and that's the process. I'm done with it.
I know when I did mine, I didn't do as much research as probably what you did on YouTube, and I had a very old barrel that was really dried out, and I had to drive the rings down on them.
Mhm.
And what you're talking about tapping them, I'm assuming what you mean is you're using self tapping screws.
Yep.
Man, that is a pain in the butt.
It takes about 200 screws.
Yeah, it's
Now
crazy.
what I have found over the course of doing this for about 2 years now is the interior rings. I don't use as many screws on them because
Okay.
as long as the two outer bands, if you'll drill and tap every stave on those, it'll give it enough rigidity that you can skip barrel staves on the interior rings. Now on the door, of course, you're going to hit it on every one of them. But I think it gives a cleaner look to the barrel too if you skip the barrel staves.
I know, yeah, I can see that because there's just so many screws, and depending on the width of your stave, it's hard to, put them can't necessarily go 1 inch apart, you know.
Mhm.
Now, when I did my doors, I actually I've got a friend who's a cooper here in Hot Springs, and I bought some banding from him. And so I used it on the interior of the door. So mine is basically sandwiched with a ring on the outside and then a ring on the inside to make the door a little more rigid. But it's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
work.
that's what I do the same thing. You want to do that with those doors because I don't unless you know, I don't think until you've been around enough barrels you don't understand how much pressure they're under. And once that door comes out, that door takes a life of its own. And I have to put like a ratchet strap on it and kind of ratchet strap it to get it to the curb of the barrel, and then I put the bands on the back side of it, because if you don't do that, your door is going to look warped, or it's not going to seat right.
I don't think any of mine really seat right. That's why I had to put like a little
Yeah.
clasp block on them. So when you shut them, I don't know, you're doing single door or double door?
I'll do single or double. A lot of times I prefer the double doors. I just think double doors are a lot more beautiful. But you gotta, once again, every barrel has its own story. I recently did a barrel. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Spillway Wine and Spirits for their block party.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you hadn't, I was going to tell you, by all means, y'all need to come this year. But a buddy of mine, Marshall, he got a barrel from Old Dominic last year. When they got through at the end of the day, they let him load it on his truck and take it, which I just thought was just, it said a lot about them as an organization. But at first I was kind of like, Marshall, I'm a little concerned with your barrel, because the Old Dominic logo on top was a little off center towards the front of the barrel. And I wanted to give me double doors because it said Old Dominic on the front. But when you start doing double doors, you've got to really, those doors have got to be about the same or the same width. And really, it's, if they're not, you've almost got to cut down. You got to cut like vertical into a stave to get that, the equal width on both those doors. And I don't know, it always concerns me, once again, especially if someone gives me the barrel and says they want me to turn their barrel into something. Now, luckily for like Marshall's barrel, I think what they were going for on the top of the barrel was, it was supposed to look like a record. And that's why it was a little off center, like the record had been spinning. And once I got it put together, it was a really pretty barrel.
Nice.
It looks like we got people on here or wanting to order stuff. So on the chat tonight.
Yeah. So I put your YouTube channel link out, and I also put your Facebook link that's on the YouTube channel out there. Is that the best way for people to contact you, or do you have something else?
No, that's absolutely. Facebook is normally. I don't. So the cool thing about this is I've met so many people that do the same thing. I got a friend of mine, Scott Whetstone. Him and his wife, they do a lot of stuff up around Montgomery, Alabama. And I met another guy named Hal Shadrick. He lives down close to Ellaville, Georgia. He does the same thing. And I don't really, I know like Hal's got like he's got like a whole website, and he ships all over the United States. For me, it's always been more just, I'm not going out and looking for the business. My thing's more or less just, if you want something, give me a holler, and, I'll get it done for you. Cause the other thing is too, I think it's part of me being in the Army as long as I was. I don't like people waiting on me. I feel like if I commit to doing something, I'm going to get it done. That's why I was a little stressed out at the beginning of this, that when y'all couldn't hear me, I was like, oh Lord, here we go. But yeah, they can.
It all works out.
Yep, they can find me on Facebook. Just send me a message on Facebook, and I'm pretty good about responding pretty quick to them.
Okay, cool. I'll put that out there again.
The way we secured you for the show tonight was you were actually at 13 Colonies when our buddy Mike Brock ran into you. And he sent me a message. He goes, you got to get this guy on the show. And so that's how we got you on here. So props to Mike Brock for getting a craftsman on here that can talk shop about this.
Yeah, that was a stressful day when I met him.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Well, hey, I can agree with you. Any day that you're around Mike Brock can be a very stressful day.
Well, it was so.
13th
Colony, yeah, 13th Colony was releasing it was a 12. I think it was 12 years, 7 months old. It was 149 proof corn whiskey, and they only had 60 bottles of it, and they were going to release like 6 a day for I believe 15 days. And when I saw him there, he was like sitting in his truck. When I pulled in the parking lot, I'm like, you got to be kidding me! There was cars everywhere. And I'm like, I cannot believe I took the day off from work, rode all the way down here, and I'm going to get turned around. And so, luckily, Megan, the girl that works there, she walked out, and I said, are you this serious about only 6 people are getting these bottles today? And she was like, absolutely. And I was like, well, I'm getting in the car, I'm leaving. There's too many people here. And she goes, no. All these cars out here are employees. Don't even worry about it. Get in line. You're probably going to get one. And that's where I met Mike that day.
Yeah, I think Mike was either number 1 or number 2, and he tells the same story. He says, I drove there and the parking lot was full. And then I don't know if he struck up a conversation with you at that point or what it was, but yeah, it was just employees there.
Well, he, of course, he started talking bourbon, and he was talking about stuff he was hunting or he had gotten, and I'm somewhat of a Mr. Nosy. I'm like, oh, really? What do you got there, and where'd you get this? And we struck it off, and that's the thing I tell people. That's what I love about bourbon. Bourbon, brings you together with other people, and you get to. I tell people all the time, all these bottles that you see behind me, and probably everything you don't see in this room. I connect memories to these bottles, and so for me, it's the memory of, okay, well, you can point at a bottle and say, hey, where'd you get that one, or when did you get that one? And I can say, well, I was with my little brother and we were in Kentucky for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I luckily got that one. But yeah, that's kind of what bourbon. That's really what bourbon kind of means to me, in the extension of the the barrel cabinet build or the business.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Roger, you got a question?
Well, I'm going to ask the question that comes from another one of our veterans, an Army vet. And if I can go back and find it here, and the thing, it was from T76, and he was like, he wanted to know, what is the one bourbon that will always be on your shelf?
Are we talking?
I think you've answered it already.
I was going to say, do we need to get our glasses ready?
You probably will. So are we talking like a daily drinker? Because I kind of
sure.
Yeah, a daily drinker is going to be Wild Turkey 101 all day long. I mean, that's going to be my go-to every time. If I can only drink one bourbon for the rest of my life, it's going to be 101.
I kind of figured that's where he was going with that.
Now, if you were to ask me what's the one bottle I'd grab in this room if the house caught on fire, which I've already warned every neighbor in this neighborhood, if my house catches fire, you better run, because this whole neighborhood's going up like a nuclear bomb. The one bottle I'd grab is when we retired from the Army, and this was literally the first house we ever owned, because we had moved. Me and my wife have been married going on 28 years this year, and over the course of our marriage, we moved 17 times. And so when we closed on this house, she handed me a package, and in that package was the Wild Turkey Masters Keep 1894, which is I don't know how much y'all know about that. You can only get that one in New Zealand. It's not sold in the United States.
Wow.
Interesting.
That is a special bottle.
I want to get back to some of your barrel creations, and everybody's got projects that they work on. I've got more projects started than I'll ever finish. But has there ever been a project that you worked on that just totally failed? And what did you learn from that?
So I wouldn't necessarily. So I had one time that I told myself I was cutting a door in a barrel, and I didn't cut the door right. And I realized after I'd cut it, I said, "Oh man, I done messed this barrel up." Now, luckily, I was simultaneously making a matching set of end tables with that barrel. So luckily, I could just go in and cut the top off the barrel, and I turned it in an end table. I'm actually working on something right now that I'm not saying it's getting the best of me, but it is by far it's pushed me farther than I've ever pushed myself before. And that's I'm attempting to build a coffee table. And so I cut the barrel in half, and the barrel I had really what's kind of give me the really what's got me the most problems with this one is I've had to custom build the cradle that the barrel will set on so it'll set level on the floor. And so I've got the cradle built, I've got the barrel cut in half, I've sanded and stained the barrel. My next step is I'm going to put a flat piece of wood inside the barrel so you've got somewhere to store stuff. And then if I pull this off, I'm going to put a hydraulic lid on it to where the tabletop will raise up on hydraulics. You can go under it. You can get like your bottle out, then set it on top of the table and then lower the tabletop.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's really what I've probably struggled with the most so far. Now,
You know, you've just inspired me because I'm in the midst of building a speakeasy, and my bar is actually going to be made out of barrels. The barrels that I've made with the storage, I'm going to line them up. I'm going to put a copper top on them, but I'm going to need a coffee table, and that would be awesome to split one in half, like it's laying on its side. But I want to do a glass top on it so you can actually see down in it.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
That
doable.
would be cool.
I tell people a lot of times too, some of these barrels, when you make them for people, they're not going to be, but it's how they drive the bands on there. If the bands ain't flush with the wood, it'll cause the barrel to be a little bit, it won't set like level. And a lot of times what I'll tell people, especially the lids are under so much pressure, they'll warp and they'll kind of bulge up and they won't be flat on top. And in situations like that, I tell people I'll do everything I can to try to level it out, but at some point I just can't do it. I tell people go buy you a piece of glass you buy a piece of glass that's maybe like a 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch thicker, or I mean wider than the top of the barrel. You put it on top of the barrel, then you can store like challenge coins or patches or whatever else you want under it. One thing I kind of want to do eventually is I've seen people where they put coins in there and then they pour epoxy on top of it, and they basically epoxy everything into the top of the barrel. But that's kind of where this year, I kind of told myself this year, I've caught up on the orders that I currently have. And so everything that I'm doing right now is really me experimenting and trying to figure out just how far I can push this. And so I got a lot of ideas this year about stuff I want to build that I've never built before.
Prototypes. You get your prototypes, then you can start. Once you get it, then you can start selling them. Hey
Absolutely.
guys, I have to. I'm sorry that I forgot to mute my mic. Sorry.
I got you.
I'm reading in the comments over here, and I'm like, oh, they caught me. I knew I should have went outside in the snow.
I muted, but it didn't help.
Well, you know what? It's something that everybody has to do several times a day. So
Hey, you boys just need to be able to hold that to the end of the show now. Come on.
Yeah.
hell, when you get old, you know that these things happen. Sorry, Chris, if I pissed all over your comments there. So
honestly, I didn't hear anything. So
well, that's good. And maybe nobody knows a few comments about it. So
it wasn't too much of a distraction. Not like a wild turkey.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just had to bring that up. Okay, I guess is it my turn to ask a question? I can't remember.
Sure.
I keep
Unless you need to go to the bathroom again.
No, next time I go to the bathroom, I'm gonna be sure and
He's got him all flustered. Do you need me to step back in and ask another question?
No. So y'all are making me really okay. Anywho,
just ask a question. It's all
the
good.
the aroma. You had mentioned it before when you cut in there. On a very fresh barrel, it's overpowering, huh? But there is something though about cutting into a barrel that aroma it's like walking into a rick house. You know, it's just
Oh, absolutely.
it's a beautiful
Absolutely.
thing. That's
That's
something you probably
that's
never get tired of.
no. You know, well, about 2 years before I kind of made the decision to retire from the Army, um, I had called my brother and said, "Hey, if I fly home to Georgia, because I was stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas, and will you pick me up at the airport?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, let's go to Kentucky, man. Let's do the Bourbon Trail." Um, and I've tried to describe this to my wife. I really want to get her up there. Until you've been to like Bardstown, Kentucky, and you just, I mean, I got up one morning, threw some tennis shoes on, and went for about a 3 mile run, and it was the most marvelous run I'd ever done in my life. It's like the smell alone was like, wow, this is heaven. But yeah, the when you crack those barrels open, and it's kind of interesting. I did a barrel for a buddy of mine. It was a Nashville barrel. And when I cracked that one open, I was like, "Oh my!" I called him on the phone. I said, "It was Ramon." Said, "Ramon, I don't know if you got any of those bottles left, but if you do, I just want to try it because that has got to be one of the best smelling barrels I've ever smelled." And I've actually been lucky enough. I cracked one barrel open. I think I got it down here. Matter of fact, yeah, there it is. So I cracked I cracked a barrel open one time and got to scrubbing the char on it, and I was like, dude, this is on a whole nother level. I think I know what I got, but I'm not 100% sure. So I scraped every bit of the char out of it. I actually got the bottle. I was lucky enough I had an empty bottle. I put the char in it, and I showed it to Graham Arthur, the master distiller down at 13th Colony, and asked him. I think I know what this is, but I'm not 100% sure. He confirmed that I had gotten this was batch 2 of the 13th Colony Double Oak. I had actually got one of the barrels after they had dumped it, and when I cracked it open, I kind of smelled it, and I was like, I think this is 13th Colony Double Oak. And when I showed it to Graham, he definitely smelled it. But that's another thing I'll do is like if somebody gives me a barrel, like Jack, I seem to get Jack Daniel's barrels more than anything. And so when I get a Jack Daniel's barrel, if I can find a bottle, especially like if it's a barrel pick, I'll scrub the char out and then I'll put it in the bottle and I'll give the bottle back to the person. And it's just a keepsake to go with the barrel. So
Yeah, very nice.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say you took all that char and you put it under a vacuum and you sucked all the liquid out of it. And I was at a bottle. I was at a bottle allocated drop one time, and this guy comes in and he's like, "Hey, everybody! I bought this barrel, and it was a wild turkey barrel. And when I opened it up, it still had liquid in it. And he had like a quart jar." Oh, I'm sorry. I did say that, didn't I?
I got to refill.
So have you ever done that? Have you ever opened a barrel that had enough liquid in it that you could actually pour it out and keep it? Or
No, I thought I was going to get lucky one time. Sean's barrel, we did the barrel pick from 13th Colony. When I got it to the house, it was a top fill because the bunghole was in the
Side.
barrel lid. I wasn't paying attention. I flipped it upside down in my garage and left it. And I come out in the garage the next morning and I realized, dude, you probably lost 6 or 7 ounces of bourbon out of that barrel because it's literally run down the garage and it's going out the garage door. And but now the cool thing is every time I go in the garage and I get ready to get to work, I look and there's that snail trail of stained bourbon on my garage floor, and it's like, okay. But yeah, that's the one. I think that was probably the one time I probably could have got something out of a barrel that I screwed up and didn't get it out.
well, what you need to do is always keep a straw handy. So if that ever happens, you can get down on the floor and suck it up. There was no
Craig's
story. No, there was no story. It was in out of Washington, D.C., and they had this old bottle of wine, and I forgot how old it was. It went way back. And anyway, they were cleaning out the shelves or something, and they dropped that bottle of wine. And they all went and grabbed straws, and they got down and they sucked it up. And they said it was the most horrible bottle of wine they'd ever had.
God.
But
Here in Alabama, they do. Alabama is a state-run liquor system, and so they do bourbon drops monthly here, but the big one's in December. And that's the one everybody goes to. You can watch like Bruzel's videos. You can see where he was up there in Auburn, where we all kind of hang out. They dropped, I want to say it was at least one 15-year Pappy, like a 10-year Pappy. They dropped some other ones, and they broke the bottles when they were unloading the bourbon for the bourbon drop. The guy who's I'm not sure exactly what he does for the Alabama system, but he's pretty big deal. He's up there. He took the 10-year Rip Van Winkle, poured it in an old Jim Beam bottle, and he brought it out to TJ and handed it to TJ that night and said, "Here, we're not going to be able to sell this because the bottle cracked, but go on and share it with everybody and let everybody have a pour of it," which I thought was just phenomenally, I couldn't believe he did it.
yeah,
Very
you'd have
nice.
thought he would have just took it home with him, right? He might have been a beer drinker.
Yeah, you never know.
Roger, you have any questions?
Well, I was going to say that is there a piece right now that you're looking to build in the future? It's like your, piece de resistance, some sort of crazy inspired project that you have coming up.
The coffee table is the big one right now. That one's taking the most time. It's one of those things I would have never attempted to do this when I first started this journey. I want to build the other thing I want to build my wife an Adirondack. That's the thing. Like the prototypes, the first ones, generally I give them to my wife, and then she does something with them. She'll put them in the house somewhere, and if she don't want them, or she says, I need some room, you got too much stuff stacked in the house, I'll go on and put them up for sale or something. But I want to build her an Adirondack chair. I've got some barrel staves left from a Blue Note barrel. And so I don't know if y'all know Adam from he's Major Zero. He's on he's got his own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had built a couple of end tables which are sitting right over there out of a Blue Note barrel, and he was just like raving. He just really liked them. But I saved enough of the wood that if I build the Adirondack, if I get the Adirondack chair built properly, the back of it's going to say E-Note because I've saved enough of the wood off the barrel. And then
Nice.
once I get that done, I want to build. I've got a couple of bar chairs over here that I set on when I play guitar. I want to replace those, and I want to actually build the bar chairs out of barrel staves and then replace those and put them up here in my bourbon room.
Do you do much building chairs? I know I saw on your site you had like maybe some benches, I guess you'd call it maybe, but not necessarily a chair.
Primarily, I build the big things. The big thing I build is the barrel cabinets. The other thing I build is it's like I can cut a barrel in half, and I can build 2 half barrel cabinets, which will flush mount against the wall because they'll be flat on the back. And then I can put doors on those, but I generally tell people I wouldn't put a door on them because for whatever reason, I had a guy who was an Air Force vet over in South Carolina. He contacted me and asked me to build them, but he didn't want the doors on them. Which for me, I'm like, okay, that's fine because I'll repurpose the wood that would have been the door to something else. Because that's the cool thing. What you build is really up to your imagination. So I can build the half barrel cabinets, end tables. I build out the barrel lids. I can actually build like a barrel. You can take like a barrel lid and then put a half barrel on the front of it, make like a shelf, hang it on the wall and put stuff on it. And And then the other thing, I built a couple. They're around the corner, but I built a couple of guitar hangers. I like to deer hunt. That's my other passion. I've got over here. I've got some. They're Euro mount hangers where you put the deer head on the
Mhm.
barrel stave, and then crosses. I build a lot of crosses. I build crosses out of the barrel wood, which I built the first one for my wife on our anniversary, and those really took off. Everybody seems to like those a lot.
Nice.
I'm gonna attempt to show this what I was going to do earlier, and you weren't in focus. But some people are asking to see some pictures, and I actually do have some. So I'm just going to pop them up here. Maybe we can talk over it. Can you hear me talking?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, Chris, can you tell us what that is there?
So that is, I have to like kind of name these things because I'm not real sure what to call them, but that is a half barrel lid end table. And
Okay.
what you could do with that is you could put it on the side of a lazy boy chair to put your stuff on. This particular one I just built for my wife. She uses it and she put it in the bathroom, and that's what she puts toilet paper and whatever else and towels and stuff on. I got that idea from my sister-in-law Tawny. I gave my brother two of these. That's the other thing. My brother, he's got a pretty sweet bourbon room too. I kid him all the time. I tell him, your bourbon room's so cool because I built half of it for you. But anyway,
is that just a piece of plywood in the back? So it's like
yep,
a square is squared off in the back?
yeah. It's so what I found was I could use other wood than plywood, but it gets pretty heavy. So what I do is I strap it to the back and then I take a router and I run it down the side, and it flush cuts it to the side of the barrel. But this is probably one of the newer ones. I don't know if the picture's catching it, but the groove in the stave is actually on the groove on the lid.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, up there on the chime, as they call it.
Yep, on the top. And then
Yeah.
I custom built the shelf at the bottom for it. So, but yeah, I like these. These are pretty cool. I like how they'll go up against the side of a lazy boy, or you can put them up against a wall.
Yeah, that'd make a good end table. Up next to a couch on either end, like almost like what do you call it? Like a bookcase.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to the next one. There, these are made out of staves, and those are just like a shelf, right?
Yeah, I call it a barrel stave shelf. It takes 5 staves. These this these are a little tricky to build because you're never going to get the two vertical staves. You got to kind of get them as close to each other size wise. And this is where I said, I started investing in some better tools. I got a table saw, so now I can make them. I can make them the same size every time.
Gotcha. And then we're going to move on to this is just another like an end table made out of the heads of the barrel.
Yeah, that's a barrel. That's a barrel lid end table. I build that out of the lid and the staves, and then I custom make the shelf on the bottom. This goes back to your comment about do I lacquer the black char? I will on these because you will touch the back of these legs and whatnot. That's
Okay.
actually, you can't, the picture doesn't really show it, but that's the 13th Colony barrel because I can see the logo on top of it.
Yeah, up on the very top. Now, see, I also have a laser machine, so I actually can laser barrel tops and whatnot. So you might want to look into that as well. Like if you had a piece that you wanted to do a custom top, let's just say like we wanted a piece of furniture like that with the Bourbon Legends logo. If you had a guy that had a laser, you could get that done on a barrel top and do custom work like that. I'm not trying to get your business. I'm just saying.
No,
I do this for my friend that's a cooper there in Hot Springs, and he makes all sizes of barrels except for the 53-gallon ones. So I get a lot of his heads that won't actually hold liquid, and I'll make barrel heads out of it, as decorative pieces. Right here is your barrel staves. What do you call that?
I just call
No,
them Glen Cairn holders.
yeah, or flight boards, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
You
that's a good
know,
one. That's a good one. I'll use that one. The one in front, I tried to build. I've tried to build that one a couple of times. I've seen where you can put those on the head of a whiskey bottle, and if you cut them, if they're perfectly, they're perf, you know, your width and your length is perfect. They'll actually, they'll balance up there with glasses on top of them.
hmm.
But I've also been a little cautious of doing that because I've always thought, what happens if it leans too far left or right, and next thing you don't crack the neck off a bottle and you got bourbon everywhere.
Yeah, there again, you'd need a straw. And last but not least, there is one of your creations that's a single door barrel cabinet.
Mm-hmm. And you can see I
Yeah.
put the Lazy Susan in the bottom.
Uh-huh. Yep, yep. Good job. That's good looking material there. Now let me see if I can get rid of all this. There we go. All right, let's pull everybody back in on this. Whoa, hold on. Got to figure out how to do it. Got to figure out how to do it. There it is. Anybody else have any questions? We don't want to keep this gentleman up past his bedtime.
Yeah, because Craig could talk about woodworking all night, Chris. Because
Oh,
he's in the.
I'm good. I'm good.
My
Well,
favorite
that's-
line
Bourbon in
from
me.
Craig was right before Christmas. He said, I think I'm going to change my other room in the garage, my shop and garage, into a speakeasy. And I joked around with him. I said, "Oh, so you're going to have it done by the middle of the month?" Because he gets started on something like this, and he goes every day, every hour that he can in the free time. He was out there on a ladder the other day. He calls me, and so I know how it goes. You get lost in these projects.
My wife told me, she says, I thought when you retired from the Army, you were going to retire and take it easy. She goes, I swear you work harder now than you ever did before. But for me, it was, I, I had this vision about the last 10 years I was in the Army. I was kind of like, I was starting to get into bourbon at that point, and I was starting to buy bottles. And the good thing about being in the military at the time, I traveled so much. And every time I went somewhere, I packed a couple of those blow up sleeves and off I went. And as soon as I had some free time, I was hitting, the local liquor stores, and I was really looking for that stuff you couldn't find where I lived. And so I had amassed this pretty good collection of bourbon. I didn't really honestly know what I had because I had it squirreled away in cabinets everywhere. And so for me, it was kind of like this. I had this vision of what I wanted my man cave or my bourbon room to look like. And so when I started building this thing and the business kind of took off, I kind of started to look at things in this room and say, well, I bought like I bought this, but could I build something out of a bourbon barrel that I could replace that with and make it look even better in here? And so for me now, this room really is, I want people to be welcome. So when people come to my house, and I don't care if you're one of us that's been in the bourbon game for a while, and you know what you like, or what you're hunting that unicorn bottle, or if you're just getting started in it, you come to my house, I want you to be comfortable enough to say, man, I've always wanted to try Blanton's, but I just never saw it nowhere. Well, guess what? There's a bottle down there, man. Crack it open, and we're going to try it. And we're going to build some of those memories. And then if you drank all that stuff, and well, have you ever had wild turkey from 1974? Well, no, I haven't. Well, guess what? I got some. So let's crack that open. So that's kind of what this room means to me. It's more, I want people to be comfortable in here, and I want people to enjoy themselves when they come over to my house.
Yeah.
That's what this community really, you mentioned it earlier. It is about bringing people together, and like everybody's a friend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's really no rivalry or if it is, it's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah,
Especially like as distillers, we've had some on the show, and there's so many stories about how each other, they all get together and they talk, and their companies are not really rivals. They're, more confidants. Hey, I got a couple of people that want to ask some questions. You have time for that, real quick? If
Yeah,
we just do some
absolutely,
real quick
absolutely.
questions.
I'm
All right.
all
So
here.
T76 asks, "What is the best whiskey you cannot get again?"
Okay, so for me, I would have said I couldn't get it, but I found it. Um, I think one of the best things that I had ever tried was Bardstown Pfeiffer Fabbit, and that was Bardstown bourbon finished in a Pfeiffer Fabbit wine barrel. Now, the cool thing about it was I hunted this for quite a while, and I found it. And my wife is not a drinker. She has like some stomach issues, and she doesn't really. She likes lemonade mixed with Starlight blackberry whiskey. That's kind of about as far as she'll go with the bourbon. But the Piper Fabbit, man, she destroyed. She drank a good amount of my bottle. She loves it. I was lucky enough. Right before I retired, I had to go to Fort Knox, Kentucky, for 3 weeks for the Army put me on a mission up there, and we had one day off. And so the couple of guys that were there with me, I said, "Come on, I want y'all to go with me because we're going to Bardstown." And I wanted to go to Bardstown Bourbon, and unfortunately they were closed that day. I mean, I was pretty like, God, this sucks. I mean, and the girl caught me at the door. She says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, ma'am, I really wanted to come here because I'd been talking y'all up all week to my buddies." And she was like, "Well, we're closed today. This is the one day we're closed." But she said, "You know what? Y'all come on in. I'll go in the gift shop, look around if you want to, whatever." And so I was telling them, I was like, "Man, they make the best old fashions here." Next thing I know, she's making us old fashions, and then I made a comment to her. I said, "Hey, is it true that y'all got a vault here that's got about $5 million worth of rare whiskey in it?" She goes, "We do." She goes, "Do you want to see it?" And I was like,
Yes.
"Oh," I was like, "Absolutely." So
Uh-huh.
I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. They've got a boardroom.
Hold on.
Oh,
We may have been in there too.
Okay,
we were
cool.
there,
Cool. You know exactly what I'm talking about then.
and they checked our bags before we left.
Yeah. Uh, When they opened that door and I seen that whole Old Crow chess set complete on the wall, I was like, "Oh my God, I know I'm in the right place." But now, as cool as all that was, I was talking to my buddies and I was making a comment about, Steve Nally's the master distiller. I've met him a couple of times coming here, and he's in the Kentucky Hall of Fame as master distiller, yada yada. Next thing I know, she goes, "Well, Steve's around here. You want me to call him, see if he wants to come meet you again?" I was like, "Oh my God, yes, please do." Well, Steve Nally came and I got in a conversation with him about Piper Fabbit. And I talked to him about it for probably 45 minutes. And, the gist of the conversation was he had gotten a couple of the wine barrels from the distillery, which I think was in California, and they were pretty dry. So he really wasn't getting what he wanted out of them. So he called the woman. He says, I want you to leave, if I remember what he said right, was leave about a quarter of the wine in the barrels, force nitrogen in the barrels, force all the air out of the barrels, freeze dry them, put them on a refrigerated truck, and send them to me. And she was like, she goes, "Steve, this is going to cost a lot of money." He goes, "I don't care, just do it." And so Steve said, he goes, "I got the wine out of the barrels." He goes, "We drank the wine. The wine was really good." He goes, "But then I put the bourbon in the barrel." He goes, "And I let it macerate for about 8 months straight." And he goes, "And I tasted it every month, till I knew I had what I wanted." And so I told him, I said, "Mr. Nally," I said, "I swear that has got to be some of the best finished bourbon I've ever had in my life." Well, about 3 or 4 months ago, I had to take my wife to Macon, Georgia. She had a doctor's appointment over there, and I just happened to, I said, "There's a liquor store I've never been to. I want to stop at it real quick." And lo and behold, they had it on the shelf. And so I grabbed a backup bottle. And then I ran into Mr. Nally at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and I told him I had found a backup bottle, and he said, "I wish to God you had found 2 bottles because none of us around here can find that anymore. And I would have loved to have had a backup bottle myself of that. So yes, that's the one bourbon that,
Wow.
I'm glad I found the backup bottle, but when those two are gone, I don't think I'll ever get it again.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it. Roger, have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I have.
Have
And
you?
it is all what he's talking about.
I know you're a big Bardstown guy. Roger is.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, Roger, me and you will get along. We'll get along stellar because I am a massive Bardstown fan. Matter of fact, I got the Mizunora Oak this year.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, I got the only one I got is the first one,
Cathedral.
Cathedral. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
You got the Cathedral. I didn't get any of those.
Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see it. I've got back there. When I retired, a friend of mine he works on Fort Knox. He got me I think they've done it a couple years, but like every distillery in Bardstown would distill their own distillate, and they put it in the same bottle in the same kind of it's like a box.
Oh,
you
same
put it in.
packaging. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he got me the Bardstown bourbon one that year, and got Steve to sign it for me. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. Hey, Mike Brock wants to know what kind of turnaround are you looking at on a Cross and a Glen holder? He might want to buy one for his sister.
Right now, like absolutely zero turnaround time because I got them both done. If I don't have them
Can't
done,
beat
I
that.
get them done. I get them done in a week.
Can't
Well, there
beat
you go,
that.
Mike.
I mean, Jesus, that's fast. I mean, hell, he already has them shipped to you, Mike. Good Lord.
Well, Mike will probably be down there in June. He's going to see his sister then. So
And ask Chris, what's the long-term plan on the beard? Is he growing wisdom, insulation, or just letting nature take over?
So, yeah. So 31 years in the Army, I shaved every day of my life, except for when I was in an organization at Fort Polk where we played the opposing force for units going overseas. And then I was allowed to grow a beard for about 3 months in. But for the most part, 31 years of me shaving every day, I swore the day I retired from the Army, I'd never put a razor on my face again. The other thing is my little brother is, he's 12 years younger than me, but he's always, as long as I can remember, had a beard that's even longer than this one. And he would tell me all the time, he'd make jokes leading up to me retiring. He'd be like, hey, you know what you call a man without a beard? And I go, what? And he'd be like, a woman. And so I'd be like, okay, har. I said, you wait till I retire. We're going to see who can grow a beard. But he grew a beard. My first deployment in Afghanistan, he grew a beard that was like down to here. And he called it his Taliban beard. He says, as long as I continue to grow this beard and never shave, you will stay safe while you're overseas. And so for me now, my wife asked me the other day, she says, you think you'll ever shave that beard off? And I go, I don't know. Because quite frankly, the other thing is too, the job I've got now, I asked them on day one, is my beard going to be a problem? And they were like, no, why would it be? And I said, well, that's all I need to know. I'm in the right place.
That's good.
oh,
I tell you, no, Craig's here. Well, Craig's here, but y'all were gone. I actually have to shave to actually wear a beard that looks about like yours during Christmas. So, I mean, if you want to pick up another job, I could probably hook you up in some red suits and a red hat, and you could be a jolly old St. Nicholas during November and December.
That's what they tell me at work all the time. They're like, you're going to play Santa Claus this year. So I'm like, yeah, if y'all can get me out of the woods long enough, but I'm going to go deer hunting. So
There you go.
That is a disadvantage. I used to deer hunt until I started portraying Santa, and then got so popular that they want you always on a Saturday and a Sunday during November, right during deer season. So Yeah, you have to pick your poisons. So I go out and entertain children instead of feeding my belly. So, guys, do you have any last requests or last comments? Anything before we wrap it
No,
up?
no, I really appreciate your time tonight, and
Mhm.
looking forward to meeting up with you again at one of the festivals or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely. And know
Well,
y'all got an open invitation. If you ever make it this way, please stop by. And we'll
Hell, I
have a
just
pour.
want to go. I want to go to Bardstown with you.
Yeah.
oh, we love Bardstown.
And if y'all are coming to Spillway this year, I'll definitely be at Spillway, so we can link up there.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be there. I think I may be. I know I will not be there. I will be doing a pick for the Bourbon Legends in a different location, so I won't be there this year. But
I might be
a
in
lot of
Bardstown.
the people will be. T and
Oh, yeah.
Marty and Daniel, that they'll be there from the Bourbon Legends and from Life on the Patio. You'll get to meet a lot of our close comrades, if you will. And Tom
Yeah,
Black says he's going to be there.
I'm pretty sure I met the guys from Life on the Patio last year.
No, he's wanting us to come to Atlanta.
Oh,
Okay.
Tom wants us to come to Atlanta. Well, we could do that too.
Y'all come to Atlanta, let me know. I'll meet y'all.
If you were at Spillway last year, we had about 4 tents stacked together, and we had like a fold-out table full of liquor. I mean, the whole damn table was full of liquor. So I don't know.
That is the amazing thing about the bourbon community to me. You know, I took my brother, his first time going to Spillway was last year. And you know, we started walking around like 7 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, how does this work? I said, you walk up to people, you smile at them, you say, hello, how you doing? And eventually you're going to be drinking with them. And just the amount of stuff, it was like, good Lord, man. I was like, you know, the guy had Tanager or however you say it at one table. And, you know, you go to another table and there's the 13th Colony Double Oak, and you go to the next table and it's like, oh, he's got every Still Austin that was ever made. And it's like, wow. That's what I love about the bourbon community.
Absolutely. Well, hey,
It's
go
great.
have a drink. Go have a drink of wild turkey, and celebrate. There you go. How about
Celebrate.
that?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you again, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Everybody follow Barrel. What is it? Custom Barrel Creations. Is that your
It's,
YouTube channel?
It's Chris Gunn's Bourbon Barrel Creations.
Bourbon Barrel Creation. Chris Gunn's
drop it in
Bourbon
the chat
Barrel
again.
Creations.
And go out and
Thank
do a subscribe on it, because you know we just got to 500 subscribers. We need to get Chris up and running that way. So if you guys have a chance, subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Well, if
There you go.
if you haven't looked at it too, I co-host a channel called Oak and Agave with a guy named Prentice Griffin, and so you know, it's pretty cool. Prentice had asked me for a long time to you know, kind of co-host this with him, and I told him from the beginning. I said, Prentice, I'm really trying to get my business off the ground right now. So he does. Prentice is he's on every one of the feeds, but he rotates me and 2 other guys through, and we generally just do bourbon reviews and whatnot. So that's another kind of cool channel if y'all have never checked it out.
I've heard of it.
Y'all heard it.
Check it out.
You heard it there. Check it out. Subscribe, like, and subscribe. Chris, thank you, sir. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Y'all have a
Don't
great
be
night.
don't be a stranger.
Have a good night.
Hey, and be sure and jump back in and put in your hashtag there, 500, and get in the drawing if you haven't already. Everybody, Chris Gunn, thank you, sir. Hey guys, that was exciting, huh?
Yeah, I
That
mean,
was really interesting.
I've got some more exciting news. You want to hear it?
You bet.
yes.
We're gonna have another giveaway tonight.
Oh, nice. I like giveaways.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to win?
You're gonna have to put in another hashtag, and this one is going to be this one.
Well,
is
hold
gonna
on.
be
You can't do 2 at the same time. You can't do 2 at the same time.
I can't.
No.
Are you sure I can't?
Okay, you can try, but I don't know that it'll
Okay,
work.
no. Well, I don't want to screw things up. So does that mean we should give the bottle away right now?
I think
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can do that.
yeah.
Okay, we'll wait. We'll do that.
So if you haven't,
But first, I know what Will is going to say. If you haven't put in hashtag 500, you need to do that.
mm-hmm.
Everybody's already starting to put it in there. I don't know why. I didn't even say what the word was, but they're putting it in there.
You had the
Anyway,
banner, but anyway.
oh, I'm sorry. That may not work, but let me see if it is. It is actually working, Roger.
It is. Okay.
Yep. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, guys and gals, if you hit the hashtag Weller, you may take home these rainbow Weller coasters. I've got a green one, a red one. That's the 107, right? The Weller Foolproof, the 12-year, Weller Single Barrel, CYPB. All of these coasters will be yours. Hashtag Weller for the complete rainbow set of coasters, not the complete rainbow set of bottles. Coasters.
Coaster.
Now let's move on. We're going to move on real quick because this is very important here too. This is our first pick that we have done. Or I'm sorry, second pick, and it's called the Volunteer 6-year, 9-month Tennessee wheated whiskey. $77 muled, $87 shipped. And if you want to know where you can get this, all you have to do is take your camera, hold it up to that little left-hand side corner, and that'll get you one of these. So I'm going to leave that up here for just a little bit, let you guys check it out. Because this is a good one, folks. I'm telling you, you're going to want to have one of these, but when they're gone, they are gone. There's no limit on them. You can get as many of them as you want. Right, fellers?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'll even throw in a tater sticker. How about that?
A tater sticker. Is it going to be a big potato?
No, there it is right there. You can see it. It's the Volunteer.
The Volunteer.
You know, being from Arkansas, we don't really necessarily care for the Tennessee Volunteers, but we do on this bottle.
That's right.
Maybe it's just because Arkansas is not very good, but no. Honestly, once we tasted this bottle, and I was trying to think of a name for it or, a theme to go along with it. Man, it kind of stood out. It kind of, it jumped out above before any of the others did. And that's the volunteer spirit. That's why they became the volunteer state, because during World War I, when the state of Tennessee asked for soldiers to enlist, they had the highest volume of men enlist in the Army. And that's how they become the volunteer state, because they had so many volunteers for the Army. And this bottle just kind of stood out like that. So I thought it was necessary, if you will, to actually call it the Volunteer, even though it hurt my Arkansas heart to do that. And I even made some orange on it, put that daggum Tennessee orange on the bottle too. But hey, it is what it is.
Pretty painful for us to do that. Yep.
Yeah, especially when you grew up listening to the football games and, is Peyton Manning playing, and they, that was their Phil Fulmer day. Oh my gosh. Yeah, bad times for Arkansas too. But anyway, yeah, and like Mike Brock says, you can also go onto our Discord, you can go onto our Facebook page, and all the information is there as well. So now, guys, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about some things that are coming up. One of which I know a lot of people, let me get rid of this hashtag there, or that. One of the things that we're really looking forward to, anybody that follows Matt Crittenden and Cut Above, they're out of Kiln, Mississippi. This one sounds very interesting. This is going to be one of his new releases, and it's bourbon whiskey finished in maple syrup barrels with cherry wood staves. What do you think? Is this going to be a dessert pour? 107 proof? What's your thoughts?
I mean, it seems to me like it's just going to be, a lot of sweet from the maple syrup, the cherry notes from the spirals, or the staves. I think it's just going to be a sweet, like you said, dessert pour.
I hope it's not a dessert pour. I hope it's a crushable pour, not something that's so sweet that you can't, drink it all day and all night. I've had a few whiskeys that, were almost too sweet. But I tell you what, this one is really sounding good to me.
What do you think, Roger?
You know what? It all goes back to it. It's a breakfast thing, and I know this isn't whiskey isn't for breakfast, but it makes me want to think maple syrup barrel with a little bit of cherry on top of your pancakes or your waffles.
Yeah,
it could be your breakfast pour. It might not be a dessert pour.
That might be the Sunday morning, Saturday morning, either one. Let's get up and have breakfast and have some bourbon to go with it.
I think that sounds good.
Like I always say, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, right?
That's right.
And I know Foolproof Hunter's out there, and he's right down the road from them. So, he could go out there Saturday, and I think he alluded to the fact that you might be able to taste it on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Foolproof Hunter's right down the road. I need to let him know. Matt, in his live video, kind of said his wife was going to be doing a Saturday tasting. They don't do those all the time. And there might or might not be a surprise available for anybody that showed up. So if you're down that way.
Here, if Foolproof Runner, if you get down that way and you taste it, I want you please to report back. And I also want you please tell Matt Crittenden, we would love to have him to be a guest on the show. I've reached out to him a couple of times, haven't got too far in the pitch to actually get him on the show, but man, we would love to have him. I've talked to him in person. He's a fascinating guy. I think me, Will, and Roger could really pick his brain on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Moving right along in the strange world of whiskey, right? Check this out. You guys see what that bottle is there?
I see.
Oh, Rip Van Winkle 20-year.
20-year Rip Van Winkle. Now, have you guys? That's not a normal shelfer, is it? I mean,
no, that's not a regular release.
This one isn't, because it was sold at auction as one of the rarest American whiskeys in history. An 82 bottle of Old Rip 20-year, and it was called Sam's because it was made for a specific liquor store. It was distilled at Stitzel Weller on December 7th, 1982, and it was bottled May 25th, 2003. And yes, you see the zeros. Sold at auction for $130,000. Even Daniel Beasley's not going to pay that for that bottle of Rip Van Winkle. We sit here, we gripe about $100 bottle. Could you imagine spending $130,000 on a bottle?
Not even. No, not even.
And the one that you're probably never going to open. That's the sad part about it. You won't open it.
No, that right there is an investment bottle, because you buy that bottle and you put it back up on auction 10 years from now, and that bottle may be worth $100,000, or it could be worth, when the next boom comes around, that bottle may be worth $180,000. Look here, Daniel says, you got that right. You got that one right. Tracy Tracy Silly Yorkie, I'm glad you're on here, babe. Who the heck has this cash to go buying up one single bottle with? Yeah, somebody who has way more money than sense. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Matt Tom Jack Black is saying, "Hey, won't they put that on a duck race?" Oh, sorry.
Princess of Proof says the person who won the Powerball in Arkansas. Yeah, they actually came forth and claimed that prize. But in the state of
requested
Arkansas,
anonymity.
they do not have to release the name for it's either 2 or 3 years. At some point, they are going to have to release their name. But yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Sideshow's in here tonight. He says, I know where one of those is. It's vaulted in California and open. A very nice restaurant in San Diego area has it. It will only come out for a very specific, okay. I think Sideshow should take us all out there and let us all have a pour.
That's right.
Yeah. Look at that, Tom. That's half the cost of one basketball court.
Tom, and no green dildos with it either.
No. Oh,
Buffalo
wow.
Bourbon enthusiast. Hey, good to see you guys on the show. Sorry about your team didn't make it again this year, but hey, you're from Buffalo. You're used to that, right? Sorry, I've got a friend in Buffalo. I give him a hard time about the team, but he wants to know.
Yeah, be nice to them. They jumped on the show. Come on.
I know.
That's
I
right.
had to
Come
get it
on.
in. I had to.
Just hey,
Bill's Mafia. What is the most you have spent and or would spend on a bottle? I guess I might as well just say
yes.
King of Kentucky, two grand. Guilty.
Yeah. For a single bottle, what was I guess the Unity bottle? Heaven Hill Unity. But that was the most. How much was that? Like was that two something?
$249.
Yeah, something like that. But then a bundle to get the 13th Colony 15th anniversary, I paid like $325 for a bundle. But all the bottles were retail, so
Look at this. Grr. We always sorry, I had to do it. I've got a lot of friends in Buffalo. I have to give them a hard time. And look, I'm no one to talk about teams that suck. Arkansas sucks. That is our NFL team. And they suck. And we know they suck. Sorry. He said he's in the same room with his wife, so he's not going to answer that question.
mm-hmm.
Look at this. Tracy did. She dropped $1,200 at one time in a liquor store, but she probably got multiple bottles.
Oh yeah, that wasn't one bottle though. Yeah. Daniel Beasley dropped $750. Hell, and I think I paid for that bottle when it was all said and done. Daniel, was that the Stag, George T? Hey, we're getting a lot of a lot of good. That's a good question that they posed here. Captain Kurt says $350 for a Beacon. Michael Rodriguez $600 for a PVW 23. That's not bad. Pappy Van Winkle 23 for $600. Hell, that's almost a bargain. Now, see, here's what I'm talking about the Buffalo Bills. See, once you start talking about Buffalo Bills, that's all they want to talk about. Now he says the owner looks like a jackass after firing McDermott. I know everybody wants McDermott back, but hey, he reached into the organization and pulled up somebody, out of your organization. So, and then Deb gave him the go-ahead to spend $2.5 on a double eagle. Hey, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, right. That's pretty
Samples
good
for everyone.
there. I like that. Rusty spent $20. Good job, Rusty.
Well, his wife's watching.
Show me the proof. $1,200 for a Pappy 15 at a United Way auction. Hey, at least it went to a good cause, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Kevin Halloran, there's a big spender there. $22 for an old tub.
Hey, you got to respect that, though. Heck
His wife's watching, too.
I'm all in for that.
Oh, my gosh. Look at here. Tom Black trying to be funny here. You found a double eagle for $2.50? All right, here we got a Scotch drinker. Bourbon Dave says $1,600 on it. I can't even pronounce it. That's how bad I am.
Lafroig.
Lafroig.
Lafroig 34.
And now we got now we're getting into a fight here. It's not worth the coin. Okay, whatever. Hey,
whatever floats your boat, right?
That's right. That's right. Anybody else in the comments want to keep throwing that out there? How much they've spent on a single bottle? How about a single pour? How much have you spent on a single pour?
I don't
I think
remember
$60
that.
one time for a Pappy 23
Okay.
birthday pour with my buddy Jerry. We went out to a steakhouse and we were 3 old fashions in, and we decided that that was a $60 pour for Pappy 23 was a good idea.
Foolproof
And
Hunter says he spent way too much on a Russell's 15 pour, or a Russell's 15. I don't know which.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was from the pour or what, but. Well, if you got a pour of that old Rip Van Winkle there that is in San Diego that Sideshow was talking about, I guarantee you that would probably be the most expensive pour we've ever had.
Yeah, that would definitely be it.
See, at the Venetian in Vegas, Rusty spent $96 for a Blanton's. Tom Matt Blackjack, $75 for a Dusty Turkey. Wild turkey, that is.
Wild turkey.
Thank you. Daniel spent $100 on a King of Kentucky pour. $230 for a Jack Daniel's 12-year. I hope that wasn't a pour, Martin. I hope that was for the whole bottle.
That should have been a whole bottle.
Hope so.
That was probably the whole bottle.
James, $24 for a pour of Yamazaki 12. I think I gave Adam a bottle of that crap. I did not like it. If I'd have known James at the time, I'd have gave James the bottle. Ooh. Man. Okay, yeah. Martin comes back and says, yeah, that was for the bottle.
That was a bottle, yeah.
That was the bottle. Hey, before we jump into more news, let's give away that Weller, okay? Y'all want to give away the Weller?
Weller coasters?
Weller coasters.
Yeah, Weller coasters. All right, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Okay, Weller, share. Did it share the screen yet? Oh,
Well,
hell, I hit remove. Hold on.
It was. It was.
I've got to get it back on here. I'll get it.
You got to get rid of the.
Got to get rid of the Pappy.
All right, there we go, guys.
There we go.
All right, for the Weller coasters, we're gonna go right now. There's 28 entries. Good luck. Tom Matt Blackjack.
Okay, it's rigged.
Yep, definitely rigged.
Yeah,
Definitely rigged.
Tom doesn't even like Weller. Come on, guys.
Yeah, well, we probably better respin that then, since Tom doesn't like Weller.
Yeah, Tom doesn't want those.
He don't want that crap.
He'll want ones that say Wild Turkey on them. And we
right.
We can make him happy with those.
All right, good job, Tom. Remind me to send those.
Well, if he don't say something here in a minute, oh, he said ha ha, but I don't know if that means he wants them or not.
He's not going to turn those down. They're free.
Yeah,
come on.
He's a tater just as much as all of us being taters. Tater.
It's like a guy I used to work with. He said he always wants something for free or cheaper.
Damn right. All right, moving along here. What do you guys think of those new labels on that Bardstown bourbon?
Well,
I mean, it's easier to see from a distance,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's in it.
Yeah.
It says rye whiskey or high wheat or bottled in bond, but Bardstown's not big enough.
Yeah, so their old labels are kind of like a classy design. It's elegant. My one complaint with those was it was kind of hard to tell what you were getting if you didn't know what the colors were. If you didn't already
Yeah.
know what you were looking at, it kind of took a little bit of time to figure out what it was. So
Especially the
I
high
can
wheat.
see, yeah, I can kind of see how maybe the way these labels are, you can be more informed about what you're buying if you don't know anything about the product to begin with.
And I think a lot of people think they're overthinking this and thinking that they're worried about this. This is only going to be for the shelf standards. These are the ones they have on their shelf that are 40 to 55 bucks.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get people that are just walking into the liquor store to, oh, Bardstown high wheat, I've heard of that. Boom, and grab it. Whereas they're not getting that. Maybe they don't think they're getting that now with their current shelfers and the labels that are on them. But
James likes them. James a fan.
yeah, James was a fan. He already said it.
Bourbon Dave says, "As old as I am, I welcome the font size."
And when you can take these off and still see it, I understand what he's talking about.
I understand that as well. Rusty says he likes the grain art. Now, it's hard to tell, and from these promo shots, is there anything on the back label that actually shines through? I can't tell.
Hey, Craig, put me backstage for a minute.
I think there's been some people that have gotten bottles from the distillery, especially the bottle and bond. They got them sent to them, and AKA, if there's anybody at Bardstown listening right now, and you want to send us some bottles of these so we can take a look at them and grade them for you, we'd be glad to do that at Bourbon Legends Media, thebourbonlegendsmedia.com. Just get a hold of us. We'll let you know where to ship them to.
That's true.
But
Captain Kirk says he thinks there's supposed to be a map on there too. I'm not sure. I've not really seen a real bottle of it.
Is that to show us, Captain Kirk, where the speakeasy is? Maybe the map shows you where the speakeasy is.
Maybe so.
Now, this is one, this is where I really start digging for like news, so I don't know, but is this supposed to be a new label for makers? Because this is what I'm seeing. It says the newly redesigned Maker's Mark cask strength is already arriving on shelves and will continue through 2026. So Roger already has this. You know what is weird is when you're researching for news, this comes up and it was like post dated January 26th. And I'm like, I swear I've seen that bottle before, but
we went to the distillery this last year, remember? And
yeah.
We saw them, and our bottles are better than that bottle because our bottles are 7 years and 2 months. That's only 7 years and 1 month.
Yeah, we gained a whole. So hey, sue me over this one, right? So this is old news, which I thought was good news or new news, but it was not new news. It was old news. That reminds me of the time. It reminds me of the time I went to Branson. I know some of you have heard this story, and I was at Macadoodles, and I walk in and they have this Wilderness Trail bottle I've never seen before. I'm like, this is the weirdest Wilderness Trail bottle. And I sent Roger a message. You ever seen this bottle? And he's like, no. So then when we go and we shoot content over at Wilderness Trail, I'm telling the tour guide about it. And she's like, those bottles aren't supposed to be out until sometime in 2026.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I wish I'd have bought one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. See, I could have been a trailblazer.
Should have got one.
But I'm not. No, I'm just sitting here spreading old news.
Yeah.
It's
a shame, Craig.
Mm-hmm. Well, like James says, at least it's not fake news. That's right, James.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, I think it's been a good show. Chris was very entertaining. very informative, not only about whiskey and bourbon, but how to build things. And the thing that fascinates me about it all is he's not a woodworker by trade. I would have sworn he was probably like, oh yeah, I've been doing woodwork, my whole life. 2 years.
So we got a question about why there's no makers 10 years, 12 years, etc. I mean, they don't really age state anything until now, right?
No,
Pretty
and
much.
they were reluctant to do much with their older stock. They were selling those barrels off if it got beyond a certain point and they hadn't used it. And that's when they started doing the cellar age project.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the 10 and 12-year juice is going into that cellar age project. That was what we were told when we did the tour. And then this 7-year, 2-month project came along, and I think there might be some other ones coming along next year.
See, Daniel called it before Roger, you even did. It's called cellar age, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and another thing too, Maker's Marks always strive for consistency in their product. I mean, even to the point of rotating barrels in the rick house, right? So I think they're just now with their special stave collection, that have come out the last few years. I mean, they may have been doing it for a while, but I think they're really starting to experiment a little more. And down the road, we might see different offerings from them that are age stated or, different profiles. But anyway.
I think Makers, and I may be wrong about this, but I wanted to say one time I was on a tour there or whatever, and it was like, we really don't care what the age statement is as long as what's in that barrel conforms to what we consider would be a Maker's product.
Yeah.
And so
their profile.
Age statements really didn't matter to them. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest about it. It's a marketing tool. The older the whiskey, I mean, generally speaking, it does make for a better product, but that's not necessarily true. I mean, there's some bourbons out there that are 3, 4, 5 years old that, if it said 3-year-old bourbon or it said 5-year-old bourbon, people would be like, oh, I'm not going to drink that. It's not old enough. So, maybe that was a marketing ploy on Makers to say, maybe they have 4-year-old bourbon that's going in those barrels. And if it meets the standards that they choose to put on their whiskey, it doesn't matter what the age is.
Yeah.
Look, and even Rusty agrees with me. Taste over marketing. Thank you, Rusty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm off my soapbox now.
Yeah, I just really think they're going for a consistent Maker's Mark profile, a consistent product. I think that's just what they've been striving for, for decades and decades. And like you said, doesn't matter what the age is. If it fits the profile, it goes in the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we were fortunate enough to
go ahead.
We were fortunate enough in October to go out and do the whole new project they have at Star Hill Farms, and that's a fantastic bottle. That is, that was one of those that totally surprised me. I think Daniel was with us and had not had it, we hadn't talked about it too much, and he enjoyed it and was really got excited about it. And it's like it was great. Go ahead, Craig.
No, Roger, I was just wanting to put that back up there, talking about our bottle again, because I just want to go over this one final time before we give this bottle away. That you can just follow that Patreon. That QR code there if you want to get in on the volunteer. And here again, we're using a marketing ploy here, 6 year, 9 months. It's actually going to be 6 year, 10 months by the time it's bottled. Tennessee Wheated Whiskey, which is the first release ever by Old Glory. I did see that they've released now a Tennessee Wheated column still.
Right.
But this is a pot still release. So there it is. We just want to get that out there one more time because we're coming up on an hour and 55 minutes, and at 2 hours we get kicked off of here. our carriages turned back to a pumpkin. So I wanted to put that out one more time.
No, I appreciate it.
So,
We need
so hashtag 500. If you haven't done it, hashtag
Yep.
500.
Here it is right here, 500. Because once it's gone, I mean, we're giving away that bottle right now. Like I said, it'll be a month before you'll be able to get it, but we want you to have the opportunity to get that. Show me the proof says he tried and it would not recognize. I tell you what, if you will send me an email to
gmail.com.
Let
I
me
just dropped it in the chat.
Okay, I was going to say,
There it is.
I was going to do a banner if you didn't do that. If you send us an email, we can get you hooked up. I'll promise you. I'll do my best. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you what. We're going to wrap this thing up in 5 minutes. At when we hit the 2-hour mark on the live, we're giving that bottle away, and then we're going to sign off. So, any more comments, suggestions, or anything on Will, your part, or Roger's part? Anything you want to say, or you have the floor.
Go ahead, Roger.
Well, I'm just looking forward to. There's only a few releases this year that I'm really looking forward to. Maybe it's just that trying to reduce the amount of FOMO that's in your life, but I'm looking for the new edition on the Star Hill Farms because it was so good last year and I enjoyed that a lot. And I think that's one, unfortunately, we're going to have to go to the distillery for.
I think
And
that we're
then-
going to have to do that.
Yeah, I think we have to do it.
We
Get
have
the
to get
tour set
our
up.
we have to get our little pins anyway, our ambassador pins.
We have to get our ambassador pins from there because we got the 2024 and 2023, and now we'll have our 2025. So we got to get the new 2026 ones. So
That's right.
and we can go in and check on Craig's barrel. Craig's barrel's 8 years down the road. Mine's only about a year down the road.
Mine's
Yeah.
not 8 years. It's anywhere between. Well, my barrel right now is a little over 3 years. So they said that it could be 6 years when they start really. It could be released in 6 years, up to 8 years is what they are saying. Their basic standard, I guess, is time wise. We just talked about that, but anyway.
My cross the fingers is on that they're going to, by the time they start releasing our barrels, they're going to let us take those out at cast strength.
That'd be nice.
I hope so. We'll see about that.
We'll just start putting that in there. We'll just throw it back in there.
Hey, by the time that bottle's ready, we may have so much clout in the whiskey business that we just tell them that's what we want.
No.
Probably not. No. I don't see that happening. No.
A man can always wish, can't he?
Well, yeah, you sure can.
Well, Chilo Rocker was just a mid-level celebrity, and now he's a mid-level celebrity, and he's also a what? What are you?
Oh, a PMP. So
A PMP.
If you know what a PMP is, put it in the chat. If you don't, then we'll talk about that some other time.
Hey, Will.
Hey,
I know. We've got 2 minutes. Let's do your. We didn't even do what we were talking about earlier. Let's do trivia with Chill Will Rocco. Come on, everybody, give it up for the man, the Chill Will Rocco.
So, what is the main grain in Canadian whiskey?
All right, folks.
Grain.
You've got 2 minutes. What is the main grain in Canadian whiskey? Post your comments. First person up.
Oh, we got a winner already.
Is it Daniel Larner there?
That's Daniel. Yes, that's correct.
Good job,
That
Daniel.
is correct.
You don't actually win anything, but you can rag on all your friends that you were a winner.
And you were first.
You knew it first.
I do like how they have some of the people have what PMP stands for as pimp.
Well, in my younger days, maybe not. Even then, probably not now either. I'm too awkward for that. So, anyway.
Well, look, even the bourbon bitch knew it was rye.
Well, yeah,
Hell
of
yeah.
course.
Bourbon bitch
hey,
knows, man. What are you talking about?
We've got the smartest viewers in all of YouTube. Absolutely.
That's right.
So, do we want to throw another question out there?
Yeah, let's throw one out real quick. We have 15 seconds. Let's do it.
15 seconds. Is that enough time to show the little graphic again? And then, because I like the graphic, I want to
Hold
see
on.
the graphic.
I'll try to do the graphic again.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, our next question. This was pretty easy. Which country consumes the most whiskey in all of the world? Most
That's really
whiskey.
a question.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Japan. Japan.
Well, you sir, we'll wait and see what chat says. Foolproof Hunter has already got it. Foolproof
Hold
Hunter,
on.
you are the winner.
Hold on. Where is Foolproof Hunter at? I don't even see where he said this. Oh,
Yes,
India.
There it is. There
India.
it is.
Thanks, Roger.
They consume a lot of whiskey over there.
Yeah, and that's why they drink whiskey all day and then they call my damn office all night. Or they drink it all night and they call all day saying, "Hello, I'd like to talk to the owner of this store."
Okay, no.
Let's
That's
give
not
away
right.
let's give away the bottle. Let's give away the
All
bottle.
right, let's do it. Let's do it. Tom Black won the coasters.
Yep.
Who's going to win the bottle of the Volunteer Tennessee Wheated Whiskey, the Bourbon Legend's second pick? Let me
Hashtag 500.
let me get on here and let me pull it up. Hold on, I've got to get rid of that that there. I've got to go into share my screen. I've got to share my screen. All right. Here we go. We're almost there. We're almost
How many
there.
entries is that?
Oh,
It's like
I don't know.
37.
37.
37.
A
is what
lot
it
of
says.
entries. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can bring this to the stage. Oh, we are on the stage. Hell, let's roll
We
that
are.
dice. Here we go,
Hit the
folks.
button.
Good luck. James Caldwell.
James Caldwell.
And James, hold on, I got to go back. James said somewhere on the chat he's already purchased one bottle, but he needed a backup. And James,
Well,
here
there
it
you
is.
go.
Look what James wrote. Got mine ordered, ready to win a second. So, James, you just called your own luck right there, buddy.
You called a
Congratulations.
shot.
I think
Sure
that's
did.
self-fulfilling prophecy is what they call that.
That's like Babe Ruth calling his shot there in Chicago, Wrigley Field. He goes, I'm going to hit one out there on the Waveland Avenue, and he did it.
He says he
Woo.
called it, so he's got it. Yep.
There you go, James. Congratulations. Congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to the frickin' Bourbon Legends.
That's right.
We're now 500 strong plus, and I want to thank everybody that helped us out. Henry Turner helped us out from Cab, Central Arkansas, Bourbon and Banner. Rusty helped us out getting more people. Who else? Who am I leaving? Adam, Major Zero.
Adrian
Called
Major
us-
Zero, yeah.
Called a shout out for us to help us reach 500. Guys, you all did it. Thank you very much. We're going to keep on keeping on. We're going to keep pushing. And I guess the next big giveaway will be 1,000.
I like doing, hey, let's just do 600.
Oh, 600.
I like
I was thinking 1,000, and I was thinking of doing like a unicorn bottle. Oh,
Well,
whatever.
we can do a unicorn at 1,000, but I think at 600 we give away something else. It'll be fun, you know.
I mean, you know,
Just
Hey, I'll tell you
think
what.
about it.
here's what we can do. It's 600. Look here, I've got something high quality.
Uh-oh.
I would love to have. We'll give away this bottle of fighting cock at 600. Y'all like that? Y'all like that idea?
Woo! Big spender there, buddy.
Hey man,
Big
that's high
spender.
quality stuff, right? It's
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, you got that right.
I bet we'll come up with something fun.
I think
We're
we
doing,
can.
oh, yeah. Captain Kirk says we need to do wild turkey coasters.
Yes,
I can do it. I can do it.
I would love some wild turkey coasters.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
see what we can do. We might have to do that as like a crowdfunding or whatever, and maybe help us generate a little bit of money. We are working on, Daniel and I are working on a Glen topper that's going to have our logo on it, our custom made Glen topper. we may see those coming out soon. Oh, also remember, if you are a Patreon member, within the next week or so, we're going to have our own hat pins that say the Bourbon Legends, and you get one of those for free for being a member. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay money if you want one.
Can I show this?
Yeah, show that. Daniel would love for you to show that.
Daniel made these up on his 3D printer because, you know, he's learned all the stuff on how to do this. It is a Glencairn holder. You unscrew the top and you place your Glencairn in there, and it has a little seat for the Glencairn at the bottom, and then close it back up, and you got yourself a Glencairn holder.
Yeah,
and it's a Bourbon Legends one.
Daniel's got
do that
4
with
of
it.
them.
It won't break.
Daniel's got 4 of them ready to ship, and he suggested a price, and I don't remember. So let's just put $25. If you want one shipped to you, $25 plus shipping. So like let's just say 30 out the door. If you do 30 out the door, hell, I'll pay for the rest of the shipping. If you want one, email me at thebourbonlegendsmedia@gmail.com. Damn.
I just put it back in there again.
He just put it back out there because you can't say it.
Yeah. Hey, and Martin Cox, just shoot an email to that, and Craig will get me your contact information, and we can chat.
All right, folks, we got to get off of here. I got to go pee, and I know y'all don't want to hear me do that again.
No.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Next week, I do want to say this, and I know it's just like a Southern goodbye. We just never shut up. We just keep on keeping on. But I want to tell you who's going to be on the show next week. We've got people lined up all the way to May now. Would you believe that? Next week, February 5th, we have Herman Mihalach, Mihalach. I'm going to have to figure out how to pronounce his name before next week. But he is the founder and head distiller of Dad's Hat Rye Whiskey out of the beautiful state of Pennsylvania, where rye whiskey rules. So I hope you guys join us next week. Meantime, be good to your spouse, be good to your brother, sister, cousins, whatever. But most of all, be good to me, Roger, and Will.
That's right. I need some good right now.
That's right. All right, guys. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
For the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold, from grain to glass,